My name is Jenny Dennis, and the title of my speech is Fighting the War on Poverty. 50 years ago this year, President Lyndon B. Johnson declared the war on poverty in America. Now, obviously, because we're all sitting in this room today as part of the Justice and Urban Studies program, this war is not yet over. Since 1964, many government programs, organizations, and economic changes have attributed to successes and failures in this fight. Working with City Square for the last 2 years, it's come to my attention that there are many organizations in Dallas as well as nationally that are fighting to help those in need. However, although we have been able to reduce poverty over the last 50 years, there's still a critical need for programs that will help the millions of Americans that are struggling below and around the poverty line. For the next few minutes, we will be looking at our fight so far, the realities of the current state of poverty in our nation, and finally, how the projects we are working on in Dallas as a part of this program are helping to solve this national issue. Let's start out with a few facts. In a 2014 article, Commentary, War on Poverty, Large Positive Impact, but More Work Remains, published by Sharon Parrott for the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, points out that poverty in America has taken great strides since the mid-1960s. Sharon states that average incomes among the poorest fifth of Americans have risen significantly, infant mortality has dropped sharply, and severe child malnutrition has largely disappeared. This shows that the face of poverty has drastically changed and improved over the last 50 years. She also states that the safety net for poverty used today that includes many of Johnson's programs and improvements has cut poverty nearly in half. However, the fight against poverty is far from won. As stated in an article, Americans Living Below Poverty Line hits record under Obama by Melissa Klein in January of 2014 for Newsmax. About 50 million Americans live below the poverty line, with the federal government defined in 2013 as an annual income of $23,550 for a family of 4. That's 15% of our nation's population that is living below the poverty line. Similarly, the NPR published an article, How America's Losing the War on Poverty in 2012, that expressed concerns about an increasing overlap between the poor and middle classes. More and more people are losing their sense of security in the middle class and consider themselves poor. This reminds me of the image portrayed by P.B. Shelley in his 1818 sonnet, Ozymandias, of the ruins of a statue representing a fallen empire. American society is built on the core of the middle class, and if that is lost, the structure will crumble, just like the statue of Ozymandias. This makes it so crucial for us to fight this war and reverse this feeling of the middle class being lost. But why is all of this happening? Michael D. Tanner wrote an article for Fox News in January of this year entitled, War on Poverty at 50, Despite Trillions Spent, Poverty Won, that challenged the success of the government programs thus far. We've spent more than $16 trillion fighting poverty over the past 50 years and have only seen very slight drops. Tanner charges that we should shift our efforts from making poverty more comfortable, like giving food and housing and health care, and focus on how to help them escape poverty. He sees these in tools such as helping people get a better education, as well as being able to get jobs and holding those jobs. This leads me to our work with City Square. As part of the food team, our documentary is looking to humanize the issue of food inequality in order to empower those that are not personally invested in the issue to help. This reminds me of John Rawls' difference principle, as described in Michael Sandel's 2009 book, Justice, What's the Right Thing to Do? He calls for a just society to encourage those who have fortune to help those who are less fortunate. By being able to show the issue of food inequality in Dallas through the medium of a documentary, we will be able to reach many more people and encourage those who have the means to help those in need. Our goal is to be able to reach both those in poverty as well as also those who are not being affected by the issue, but give them a reason to want to help those who are in need. This is the way, and this is how Rawls found that the problems in a society can be fixed. Those on the education team are in some ways practicing this ethic through their project with Design for Change by using their skills and connections with our program to help the kids help themselves. This also ties back into Tanner's ideas that we should help improve education. The DFC curriculum is focused to empower the kids of South Dallas to make their communities better. These skills would be crucial in helping these kids get themselves out of poverty and find solutions that help them escape that poverty. The concept of feel, imagine, do, share is crucial in figuring out what solutions can be made to help America as a whole overcome poverty. In conclusion, So, through our programs, we can both empower the top to help those on the bottom, and also empower the bottom to fight their way out. So finally, in conclusion, yes, we can. Although we have been able to reduce poverty since the start of the war on poverty, there is still a critical need for solutions to help the millions of people that are struggling below and around the poverty line. As we've seen, there are many reasons that are attributing to these different problems in our society. However, the projects we are working on here in Dallas are bringing that empowerment needed to solve this issue once and for all. Although the issue is so much bigger than the 9 of us and City Square and Dallas, I know that we are taking steps in the right direction to end poverty in America. Thank you very much.
Hold on. She's finished, but enough time.